This morning I've been hard at work trying something kind of new out. You see, for the past week or so, I've been trying out this new project in Unity, trying to make this new game that's more of like story driven and instead of the previous one, which I made a video on, which you can go check out with the link in the description. The previous one that I did was more like gameplay focused, and now I was like, okay, I actually want to like try out a game where I put some story into it, and I started making it. And, you know, up until yesterday, I've been working on that project. But then after I was working on that for a little bit, I was just like, I have no clue what I'm doing. I don't actually know how to implement a story into a game the right way. Because you see, I've never really written many stories, especially like for video games. I've kind of just like had a vague idea and been like, okay, let's just make a whole game around this. And then after I have that vague idea of like, oh, that's a cool story idea, I start working on that and I don't add in any gameplay, and it's just trying to do something around this story, but there's not actually a story there. It's just kind of like the idea for a story. So then I was like, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna try out, writing out a story. And so this morning when I woke up, that's what I started working on. I decided, okay, I want to write out a story. I want to come up with like something that I think could be pretty cool that maybe I could add into a game and make the game be revolving around that and create like a world for that story. Because I love people who have been able to create just amazing stories. He didn't just create the stories inside of Star Wars. He created a whole world, and then another one, and another, and it just turned into this whole universe. He created the whole universe, all these worlds, all working together. And that is awesome. You can say like a similar thing for like Marvel, even though it's kind of going downhill a little bit nowadays. You can even say the same for like DC, like taking like movies out of effect, like just looking at like comic books, like the big two, like Marvel and DC went and created these massive worlds and universes and stuff like that, and bringing George Lucas back into it, making Star Wars and that whole universe. And some video games, say like Red Dead Redemption or Fallout, they've all created really good worlds and universes. And that is the key difference between a lot of media and like what I'm really interested in. Most people take like a pre-existing world, which that's fine, and they add on to that and do that kind of thing. But what I really like is when they really turn it around and they make it just their own world. That is the coolest thing to me. That's why I love Star Wars especially, but then that's also why I like really enjoy like Marvel movies, or had for the longest time until recently for the most part, and like the worlds that they really create. Because like with Marvel, it's based off of Earth, the real world, but they change it so much that it's like it feel like the whole history and everything is like they have a whole world built into it, a whole universe. They're adding the multiverse into it. Like it's so much more than just it's set on Earth. It's not like, oh, okay, it's set on Earth and here's just a story about a person. No. These are like creating their own worlds or universes, or just changing them so vastly that it becomes their own. And like another good example I would say is like Fallout. Fallout is based in the real world, but it's like an alternate version of it, and takes place way in the future after the bombs drop. Even before the bombs drop, it's way in the future. So that's like 2077, and then have a wide range within 200 something years, and it's just so cool to see all of that like working together, how the wasteland came to be and the origin story for all this stuff. It's like they're creating their own world based off just like the template of like Earth. Or take like Skyrim, or the Elder Scrolls games. I haven't really played them before, but I know that it's set on a specific planet separate from Earth. And then a lot of games do that, where it's like it's their own planet, and the stories are being told on that planet created by whoever's making the games. And it's like I just love that idea, the whole idea of like being able to create worlds and universes and playing by your own rules that you create is just so cool, not being necessarily constrained to like a realistic setting. And that's what I just like love about like all these movies and video games and stuff like that. This is by no means like saying I don't like the movies and TV shows and games that are set like in a real world setting that have like their own stories to tell inside of like just a regular world, but I'm just saying I really enjoyed the stuff like outside of that because it gets so much more creative and you can just do so much more with it. And it really is just like the limitations are just like what the creator can think of. So with all that being said, that's when I was like, okay, I want to kind of do my own thing. That's like my inspiration here. And, so I decided to write out like a really short, like little story with like basically one scene in it and, kind of have that be like, just like testing the waters a little bit since I haven't really done creative writing in like a long time. So that's what I was doing today, and I'm like, okay, I come up with something, I wrote it down, went through it and a second time and like kind of edited some things around. And like one thing I was really thinking is, should I make this like its own planet, or should I make it be set like on Earth? Because that's kind of a big thing to think of, and it's like where I'm wanting the like story like to go. If I do continue it, I think it's better just on another planet, and basically like an alternate version of Earth, I guess you can say, where it's like it's similar in the same way that Earth is, same types of like people and stuff, but like there's different like creatures, and kind of think of like Fallout in a way. Like Fallout takes place, it's basically it's the nuclear fallout of Earth, but if they just took out the bomb, like the atomic bomb part of it out of it, they changed it from being Fallout to just a different planet, it's still like the same thing, so that's kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, how can I do this in such a way that it fits in with like a story that I want to tell inside of a world that I can create. And that's when I started with the story that I've written out here. And I recorded me like going through it. There's just two people, me, just the person that you're like the main protagonist, and then the mysterious man, which I went through and recorded it just so if you wanted to see what the story's about and give me some feedback on it, that'd be great. I have the recording for it. I'll play it in a minute here. But it's just my whole idea for the entire story came from everything that I've been saying. And I think I set it up in such a way that I can do a lot of different cool things like with this story if I want to use it moving forward, or maybe this can just be like left as a test and I can move on to something new moving down like further down the line. Before you listen to it, just keep in mind it's really nothing crazy. I'm not like a great writer. I haven't really done much writing, like creative writing. I'm kind of just trying things out as I'm going. Like I said, just trying it out. It probably sucks, honestly. Like I've never really done this. It's kind of supposed to suck. That's how starting something kind of new works. Just keep that in mind. If it's a little corny or whatever, just bear with me. I'm not a voice actor, okay? And I'm not really a writer either. I'm just trying this out and I wanted to record it for you. But with that being said, here is the story. The darkness faded away as I regained consciousness. I sat up off the cold, grassy ground and looked around. All around me were trees, and nearby I could see something interesting. A red glow coming from a bag right next to someone laying on the ground. I stood up and started walking over there. As I got closer, I could hear a faint sound coming from the glowing bag, almost like it was calling to me. "Hello?" I said as I reached down and shook the man around. "Are you okay?" Within a flash of a second, he grabbed his gun and pointed it right between my eyes. "Give me one good reason not to give you a third eye." "But please, man, I'm sorry. I just woke up here and have no clue how or where here is. I'm just looking for help." He lowered his gun and said, "It's not very smart to sneak up on someone sleeping in the middle of the woods, especially with what I have on me. Could you please tell me where we are? I just woke up here. And what do you have with you?" "What I have is more powerful than you can imagine. It's the Legion's white whale." "And what do you mean you just woke up here?" "I mean, I just woke up here. What is the Legion?" "What do you mean? You don't know about the Legion? How is that even possible?" I don't know. Why should I know? They have been around for a long time, as long as I can remember, and are swarming this place like gnats to a corpse." "What? How is that possible? I've never seen or heard of them before. What is this place?" "This here is the Legion's Sacred Forest, right next to the capital, which is why so many swarm this place." Legion's Sacred Forest? I've never heard of anything even remotely close to that before. That's insane! It's been under Legion control for at least 50 years. 50 years? What year is it? 2357. 2357? Why do you seem so surprised? Because it's 2237. What? You sound insane, man. Get out of here with that legionary talk. Legionary talk? You're starting to sound just like one of them. They claim to be all powerful and have been here for well over 100 years. What? I think it has something to do with these crystals, he said as he pulled out the glowing crystal from his bag. These seem to have some power that the Legion have utilized to take over the sector. The crystal, it calls to me, I said, memorized by its ominous calling and red glow. Ah, nah, man, you're one of those legionaries, he said as he grabbed his gun again. I reached out and levitated the crystal. I brought it up and threw it into the barrel of the gun right as he shot. The gun exploded and the man blasted back, losing both hands in the explosion. I began to levitate, and I brought the crystal to my chest. I pushed it through my chest, past the breastplate, and into my heart. I absorbed the crystal and unlocked my true power. So yeah, that is the story that I have for this video that I wrote out. And if you liked it, cool, awesome. I think I have a lot of cool, like, different things that are being set up in this, like, very beginning of the story, where it's like, oh, where could this go? Why is this guy acting like this? What's going on with this crystal? How is he doing all this stuff? Like, that kind of thing. And it's like, oh, I thought that was kind of like a fun little idea, and I feel like there could be a lot to expand upon with that. But I'd love to know what you think. So scroll down right now and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. You can say it sucked. It probably does suck. I'm not gonna lie. I've never really done this that much. And, you know, if you liked it, great. I'd just love some feedback on it. If you want to just see the full written thing out, I'll put, like, either a link to it in the description or just put it in the description. I'm not sure. One or the other. And while you're down there, you might as well just subscribe, because I upload videos every single day as of right now, and you don't want to miss out on future videos. So yeah, with all that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully, maybe you got, like, some inspiration, or maybe you enjoyed the story, or whatever it may be. I hope you just enjoyed the video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.